Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, dying times here.
Yep, I totally boomered the time, folks. I meant to set it for 10:30, and I set for 9:30.
Yeah, so he did. I was like, comics, what's going on, man?
Because like you and God, who else? LDG came. He's like, hey, dude, you having technical issues? I'm like, what are you talking about? I even texted Culture. I was like, is he okay? He's like, I don't know, dude. Culture didn't text me back.
I did. I shot you a text. Yeah. I'm like, you good, man?
LDG's always on point, checking that stuff out. Who's on? Yeah.
Chat said Gary would be proud of you right now. So
I'm like, you good, man? I'm like, you okay?
I think that must have been okay. So my wife and I were playing Darksiders Genesis. So I came in here to go and figure out the one of these boss fights, and apparently I left my phone in here. So double boomer. Make all the jokes, folks.
But wasn't that great though, not being around yourself?
Yeah. I was like, Culture, where are you? And I was like, into the Culture, and then I was like, comics. And you saw the messages I left you. I was like, dude, are you okay?
Yeah.
People from my office go insane. If I don't answer an email or a text, that's it. The phone starts ringing nonstop.
Are you okay? Something going on? What's going on? What's happening?
That's the dark side of having a phone given to you by your company. They expect you to answer. Yeah. That's why I love that. I'm going on vacation next week.
Oh, nice.
That shit's on mute. That's
one thing is pretty funny. The company I work for, one of our biggest means of communication is Slack. Okay. And the funny thing about it is that they have like all this like privacy stuff. And ever since I set up Calyx on my phone, it doesn't necessarily play nice with the Google Play Store. So I can't install their software to have work stuff on my phone. Oh no! Oh, terrible.
Culture.
Oh, what do we have here?
You look at that.
Jimmy no longer the worst president.
I know.
I know. It took this guy a mature time to say, take my title. At least I'm still a Democrat. That's funny.
Worse than Nixon or Carter. Like,
wow.
That's saying something, man.
You ruined the Family Violence Prevention and Services Act, Joe, and turned it into VAWA. Fuck off, please.
Yeah, I don't know. But we'll save the Afghanistan failure talk for Monday.
Oh man, let's hope it doesn't get worse.
Yeah,
it was like bombing of the airport today, wasn't it?
Yeah, there was. There's a
don't hold your breath there, Culture.
Yeah,
it's pretty bad. 13
service people lost their lives today, mostly Marines, from what I'm to take away from it. It is unpleasant. A lot of other innocent people around there were severely injured.
Yeah,
killed.
It's pretty unfortunate. Yeah,
that sucks.
It's essentially an act of war. Actually, that particular
being completely dispassionate and kind of detached for a second, though. At least something finally freaking happened in the Biden administration. It was a complete. But we
don't want that to happen.
At least something happened. I think more than just one thing happened, but that's just me. All right, folks. Hello, everyone. Joining me tonight is my usual suspect, Culture Casino. Hi, Culture Casino. And we also have Jed.
What's up, guys?
Say hi, Jed.
Hey, what's up, guys?
And we also have Guy Scar of the Tabasco scenario.
Tabasco.
Oh, yeah.
Some spicy, but I know. That's why I put it Tabasco.
Tabasco.
And the Authenticator wanted to join us tonight, considering we were talking about the whole Cowboy Bebop thing. So,
good evening, I almost sent you that Salon article, but I didn't know whether you guys were all back from the Vegas escapades or not yet, so I didn't chance it. but
No,
I saw
we were back like a while back. Like,
I saw the stream announcement thing in my notifications, and I was like, you know what? I was gonna send him that article. Let me see if I can jump in on this one.
Oh boy. Yeah.
We had a little mini Vegas thing over here in Phoenix the other day, so it was pretty cool. So I got to see Culture, and Ryan and Biggles, and there was another guy named Jed there that was really funny. So
we had the two Jeds in one place, and we didn't have an explosion, so we were good.
Yeah, and I go up to Ryan, and Ryan goes, I was like, dude, it's me, Jed. He goes, I thought the other guy was Jed. And he goes, oh, that's. And then he actually listened to my voice. He's like, Jed, it's you. I was like, okay.
Terminus is asking about Drew. Is he done with his show? I mean, is he doing anything tonight?
He's over.
He's still doing the Battlestar Galactica. I think.
Okay, I'm sure he'll be jumping on as soon as he's done, because after all, we are starting a bit early, considering I boomer at the time. So yeah.
Okay, good. So I'm not super late then. I was worried about that because there was a thing going on in my neck of the woods, and then all of a sudden I look and it's like, oh, they started already. Damn.
No, my dumb ass set it for 9:30 instead of 10:30, like I normally do. Yep. So yes.
Boomer division.
Yeah, I boomered it big time. All right. So yeah. Lots of fun there. Let's talk about the Salon article, because
pop
it's
music. Talk about
fresh. Let's
pop
talk
music.
about
Talk about
pop music.
Pop video.
Yeah, the funny thing about this is the irony lost on Salon. You know, I mean, do they realize that they've become the moral Puritans?
Well, no,
it's pretty much been this way ever since Gamergate happened. So I mean, they were among those publications what fell off the anti-Gamergate cliff, much like Kotaku and Polygon and the rest. So
yeah. Of course, Cowboy Bebop is already inciting horny male outrage.
And you mean people like things to be beautiful, and people making it don't want things to be beautiful because reasons? Is that the long and the short of it? You have an objection to people going, but things should be attractive and pleasing to the eye.
Yeah. So let's find some pictures of Faye Valentine. All right, here we go.
Oh, pretty easy.
Yep, it is actually pretty easy. So let me stop sharing. And the funny thing is, it's not that hard, because, you know, the great thing about it is that there's been plenty of cosplayers that just freaking rock the outfit. But this is basically her outfit. Yeah, she dresses kind of sexy. Here we have somebody actually recreating it. I mean, that looks fantastic. And the thing that Slate doesn't get is that she's femme fatale, right? I mean, if you know anything about Cowboy Bebop, it's a noir story. Very much noir story. And Faye is the classic femme fatale. And this is how she looks in the series. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with her costuming. They could have done something very similar, but no, they decided to do something else because, you know, sexy chicks, you know, the male gaze, it's all bad.
Yep.
Because
my beauty standards are a social construct.
We're all going to hell.
Yeah.
Even the gay one who doesn't even care that she's attractive.
Exactly.
Well, wait a minute. So that's an interesting statement. You would have to agree Faye Valentine is attractive, yes?
Yes, I'm gay, not blind.
Okay, well, thank you.
Duh.
There you go.
No, I mean, that was rhetorical, but yeah, I mean, that's just the point is, you know, we can all say someone's aesthetically pleasing. I mean, Jason Momoa, aesthetically pleasing.
Yep.
You know, I mean, you know, I'm not gay, but, you know, I'm sorry. I mean, it doesn't take a lot to figure out, okay, that dude's handsome. I mean, you know, it's why I hate, you know, and love Drunk 3PO all the time. That's why he's one of my pals, is because he's fucking too handsome. What a dickhead.
But that's the thing, right? Being comfortable with your sexuality, to be able to say that that's a good looking, good looking guy. That's the thing. There's nothing wrong with that.
Beauty is beauty, whether you want to put your extremities in it or not. Essentially.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the thing that's funny about it, is that we as human beings, we're allowed to recognize things that are attractive.
Yeah.
Whether it's another male and you're a man, I mean, you can still recognize that you can still be heterosexual and recognize that another man is attractive.
Yeah.
And the same thing with women. And this nonsense of the male gaze is nothing more than Puritanism coming from the left rather than coming from the right.
What's more is most of these beauty standards are rooted in freaking mathematics and evolution. So unless you want to take issue with the ergonomic qualities of biological efficiency and or mathematics, beauty is beauty. I'm sorry.
It's true. It's true. The aesthetics of the golden ratio gives you pretty much everything there is in the world, and what we find attractive is a mathematical formula, and it always has efficiency. Been. So, absolutely. Well, and when it comes to biology, I mean, the reason that we are getting more and more quality humans that have more attractive features is because they breed. They get together and make more pretty. You just eventually everybody's going to be like a nice mocha color and very pretty. That's just the way things
like the one Family Guy meme from the multiverse episode where they go to the future where humanity is 1,000 years more advanced and Meg is still ugly even though she puts all the our universe supermodels to shame.
Yeah, go figure. No, I never saw that episode.
She's still one of the ugly ones. Well,
yeah, that's funny. Real quick, let me get J.A.F.O's super chat for $4.99. Cake and sodomy, anyone? Is it time for cake and sodomy?
Wow, that doesn't sound good. I bet you there were some.
You know what that's from, right? I mean, that was the name of a Marilyn Manson album.
Yeah.
Well, who was doing the sodomy and what flavor is the cake?
These are questions I never, cared about asking.
No. No. Actually, that's a good question.
Actually, it wasn't an album; it was a song.
Yeah.
Because Portrait of an American Family is the album.
Yeah. Let's rewind a little. Because there was a super chat there, does that mean there weren't some like for the hour that the stream was going without us?
What's that?
Like old, like classic super chats that may have happened like an hour before we got here.
I didn't see any, but
I'm just making sure.
I was in the channels since 7:30.
I don't want you to pull a drunk 3PO. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah,
I did not. But you know what? Maybe I should wait till Eric shows up. I have Eric K's last super chat.
Ooh, is Eric coming?
No.
Don't come.
You know what? We should. No, I'd like to get him on a stream. That'd be fun.
He's fun on a stream. I've been on a stream with him several times.
So. All right, well, let me double check here. Somebody say stuff. Why
I wasn't trying to guilt you, comics, but
no.
Look, here's the thing. I am a huge Cowboy Bebop fan, right? It's in the exact art style of anime that I enjoy. It falls right into Last Exile, which is one of my favorite animes of all time. So you put Cowboy Bebop, Last Exile. I'm now a huge fan of Trigun. I've very much enjoyed that. There's this particular aesthetic and style and humor that I enjoy, and the Cowboy Bebop's one of them, and Spike is one of the coolest things, and Faye is freaking awesome. Look, she is a femme fatale. She will kill you, whoop your ass, whatever. I mean, she is awesome, right? But she's also smoking hot, which is why people underestimate her. And this person, even came out and did a bologna sausage take on, I don't know, Instagram or in Bookface or something that somebody posted today, and it is a terrible look. She's like, there are no women like this there are no women that look like this cartoon character, and I'm like, you're insane. There's a billion of them.
There is plenty of cosplayers that look more like Faye Valentine than she does.
While we're on this, Culture touched on something that I was going to, but it completely made me space out for a second. Not only is this male gaze nonsense completely pig ignorant of evolution and mathematics, it also completely obscures the fact that sexuality is a power. Okay, that's why those who have sexual prowess or those who have a sexualized body type get more laid than those who don't, because it confers power. And not to be rude, but when a man sees a very, very, very attractive woman, something in his brain switches off because he's too busy thinking about boobs. Let's just be entirely honest about this. And the same is true for women. When a man sees, the creme de la creme of the male specimen, when when a woman sees a man who looks like a freaking sculpted Greek statue, something in her brain switches off. And what's more, subconsciously, human beings associate beauty with virtue. We do. It's just a simple fact of the matter. It is far easier to buy an evil person who is ugly than it is an evil person who is pretty, specifically because somewhere in the animal recesses of your brain, when you see someone who is very, very, very pretty, some part of you thinks, that person is so beautiful. Nothing bad could ever possibly come out of that person. And that is why femme fatales exist. And that is also why alpha Chad dickheads are some of the worst examples of men you will ever see in your life. Because it's not that all men are toxic, but it's the fact that those who exist at the very tip top of the hierarchy can commoditize and commodify anyone they want, and therefore become dickheads, or are dickheads to begin with, and that's how they get to the top of the hierarchy. Yep. It's a human universal. Pretty people are supposed to be morally perfect in our subconsciouses, and sexuality is a power that people have at their disposal. It is not a victimhood. That is what is truly backwards about this male gaze thing. People say, the male gaze is essentially you are victimized by being attractive.
Yeah, there's a joke about sexual harassment where it's like if it's a good-looking dude saying, "You look good in that dress, Karen," and she's like, "Oh, thank you," and it's like a schlubby, nerdy-looking dude, and he's like, "You look good in that dress, Karen," and she's like, "Where's the quick call HR?"
I am victimized by this peasant thinking and acting above his station. Derp, basically, is what it amounts to.
Yeah, it's like, ooh, I dig that pocket protector.
In this day and age, that might have happened maybe once or twice before this all went down.
Oh, it did. I can trust you. It did. So
I love this condescending subtitle here. The men of genre fandom don't want their scantily clad female characters messed with. So it's
because it actively impedes the quality of the work.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's why. Has nothing to do with.
By the way, I have to point out that Faye Valentine, not Hispanic, she is actually Asian.
Yes.
She's Japanese.
Yeah,
but that kind of race swapping doesn't matter because reasons.
Yeah, because there's no logic.
But everyone complains about lack of Asian representation, and what's the first thing these people do? They go and race swap.
Race swap Asian.
Yeah. So just throwing that out there.
Yeah. I'm curious what will happen if we ever get around to the point at which somebody realizes the Irish were screwed over too, and then you're going to get a bunch of really, really awkward articles going, maybe race swapping every ginger person with a person of a different ethnicity wasn't a good thing.
Oh,
that'll be the next wave of it.
First fucking paragraph. Oh, this is gonna be so delicious, folks. Surprise, surprise! Men of the World Wide Web have mobilized once again. No, not over. Rapidly worsening climate catastrophe, stagnant wages, the broken healthcare system, or the epidemic rape culture. Well, hang on. I got something to say here, buddy. First off, you are not. You don't dictate to me when I'm pissed at. So fuck off. Okay, Salon. Eat a bag of dicks.
Second off, it's possible to be pissed at multiple different things at once.
That's
okay.
Yeah.
It's not a zero-sum game. There's not some limited resource of outrage that is available. Like, I can be mad at the fact that our infrastructure gets a grade of D+ from the Army Corps of Engineers, and also mad that nothing beautiful or valuable in art can be allowed to exist because of morality, which is exactly what this bullshit amounts to.
So, Salon, have you called out the rape culture within the comic book industry on how the comic book creators had to go and take a pledge not to sexually assault their coworkers? Why aren't you writing about that, Salon?
Or how about this? Can we all just remember for a second, before feminists got a hold of the idea of a rape culture, the term rape culture was first employed to discuss male juvenile prisons and male prison rape. But surprise, surprise, some feminists came along and took the idea of prison rape from male juvenile rape and turned it into a woman's issue, because men and boys could never possibly have any issues worth discussing, derp.
Oh, this is even better. But rather, over real issues, the outfit of a female bounty hunter in a live-action adaptation of beloved anime series Cowboy Bebop.
Okay, so Salon, my darling, let me ask you something. Is culture an important thing for societal causes to co-opt and infiltrate? And if you say no, then your entire worldview just came crashing down around you like so much Pompeian clay. But if you say yes, then this point is moot and we can move the fuck on, please.
Yeah. So anyway, this article is dumb.
Yeah, it is.
Based off that first paragraph. Netflix released first look images Monday, and the reaction was quite revealing about one character's not revealing outfit. Yeah, you know what? A lot of other people complain the fact that, Spike Spiegel, it's a rather German sounding last name. I know that they obviously, here's a safe bet with the anime. Always assume that the characters are Japanese. So I don't have an issue with Spike being Japanese, even though they cast a South Korean guy. Is that what he is? South Korean?
I don't know. I believe so.
Yeah. He is.
Yeah. So
it's not like they care to differentiate
they don't
Asian
care.
ethnicities.
No. Like, hey, let's switch everything around here.
It's kind of like how they'll make the argument as long as we can change any race to any other race we like, as long as it's still a person of color at the end.
But
hang on, Guy Scar was trying to say something.
No, but I was saying that Chinese and Chinese films or whatever, if you have Japanese or non-Chinese playing as a Chinese, oh my god.
Dead.
Yeah. And I know it's something that they've done this a lot throughout the 90s as well. There was a pretty famous Chinese actress that kept getting cast as Japanese roles. This isn't anything new, but the funny thing is they typically will cast an Asian person in a film to try and appeal to China, but the issue is that they'll cast someone who's like Vietnamese or Korean, someone who's not actually Chinese, and of course that is rather off-putting to the Chinese.
And also China tends to hate this from a cultural perspective anyway, because they have their own term for what we call SJWs. It's Bai Thou, which basically means like meddling or doting grandmother.
True.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I just love how they try and redirect where the outrage should be going. That's the thing I find so funny about all this.
Yeah.
But see, that's the thing is with everything. I mean, it's always about deflection. Okay. They when you make a salient point about something, they always redirect it somewhere else. Well, this is what this person did. Well, no. Let's focus in on what's happening now. And the same thing happened today, and I'm going to not step all the way into this subject when it comes to what happened in a foreign country today. They point out the shortcomings of somebody's performance when it comes to something, and they immediately redirect because they don't have a response to it, because there's no way to make what is happening look good. Go ahead.
The further problem is that these people live in a world entirely comprised of two things: abstraction and authority. That's how they can treat two very comparable situations or two very comparable things like completely different things, because they call it a different word and associate it with a different concept. Therefore, it's different. It's the old adage of our glorious revolution, your traditionalistic tyranny.
Well, and that may be true, Dalton, but but like I said, I mean, it's always redirecting something. Yeah. They are incapable of answering a direct question with a direct answer. And it mirrors a lot in what's happening right now in the world in every way. But when it comes to something like this, they want to frame this in a particular way where it redirects. They want to redirect the reader. They want to
our critical analysis, your unjustified culture war.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, again, just answer the question. What is the problem with people wanting to maintain the properties the way that they were originally presented, and do it with integrity?
Yes.
What is wrong with maintaining a property the way it was supposed to be? There's nothing wrong with it. See, that's the problem. It's like, well, we can make it better. No, you can change it. Changing is not better. Change is almost never better.
Unless you have some kind of deference to the concept of better, which you don't.
That's true.
Well, Cobra Kai did that good. They changed some things. But
sure.
Yeah.
But they left.
If you genuinely
the core.
understand something and genuinely know how it works, then you can offer alternatives that are either as good or better. But to call back to the root of this, they believe that not only is there no such thing as meritocracy, no such thing as improvement, no such thing as quality, but that those concepts are harmful delusions that oppress the Western world, and that they are here specifically to deprogram us up, to wake us up from.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I gotta get some of these super chats because some of these are just really, really fucking good. So, Pirate Queen for $4.99. Steph Ani posted a video from the actress upset at the fans because she isn't what they wanted.
Yeah,
Steph. I have that. We'll pull it up in a sec. We'll take a look at it.
Yeah.
Let's see. Did it jump? Yeah, it jumped a little too far. Let me go find them real quick. Okay. Russian Bob for $5. I was going to give the series a try, but the actress insulted fans. So hard pass. I don't blame you. That's we'll get to that one in a sec.
Never insult your fans.
Yeah, that's always a bad idea. That's always a winning proposition, folks. Just saying. Toxic Man Flu for 5 American pesos. Ain't nothing sexier than comics in a booster seat at Applebee's. Thank you, Tox.
I didn't need that mental image. I did not need that mental image. Goodbye.
Yeah, there's a lot of short jokes about me being short going around. So.
Wait a minute.
I'm only 5'9". I'm not.
Dude, comics, you're taller than I am. So.
Wait a minute.
I'm 5'6". I don't know what you're on about, and I'm barely 5'6".
Comics, you're short.
I'll take a fifth.
What I came up to
it's like you bet me, Culture. You know how short I am.
Yeah, Culture. I came up to what, your shoulders when I met you the other night. Yeah. So.
All right, the Islington girl for $149 with a super sticker of a hot dog, the very foul hot dog.
Thank you, the Islington girl. You're lovely.
Crazy cat guy for a super sticker for $5 with the Shimu Emu going hiya. I do that just for culture.
You got it.
Inu. Shiba Inu.
You know I do that to intentionally trigger you, right?
Maybe.
Okay, J.A.F.O of Dexidoodle for $4.99. Cake, German chocolate sodomy. Dan Slott slap the thigh and ride the wave in. Ooh, dude, seriously. Coconut and all the wrong places.
Wow, J.A.F.O.
Coconut for me.
Should this be a Nick Weiser
that
flavor?
It should be. It should be.
Oh no!
All right, Stay at Home Podcast for $50. I don't know what kind of dollars those are. What's that?
JM Cruise. Yeah. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Japan should never let the West touch anime IPs. I agree with you, man. They fuck them up so hard.
Honestly, what we need is the inverse. We need basically what happened in the 80s and 90s with comics with the British invasion, but this time it needs to be a Japanese invasion. They need to come back over here and basically reinsert the Western values we gave them back in World War II.
What they need to do is they need to come over here and bomb the shit out of Hollywood.
Yeah. Have you tried turning Western civilization off and back on again? It seems to need to reboot.
On that note, though,
entertainment.
with Visions, right? The anime that they're doing when Visions, do you think it's going to be any good?
Oh, yeah,
dude,
all
Japanese.
It looks fantastic. It looks amazing.
Yeah,
So
I mean that trailer, man. If they basically let those anime studios run with whatever and had creative control, then yes, they would absolutely. I think it will be a fantastic series, provided that Disney stays the fuck out of it.
Oh, Disney never stayed.
Here's for hoping.
Yeah, here's the hoping. Toxic Man Flu of Dixfish for 5 American pesos. Fun fact: the flesh-colored cock ring was part of the X-rated Lantern Corps comic in the 80s. I don't know if that's actually a joke or if he's being serious.
It could possibly be true.
There's already basically a Lantern Corps of horrors, what with the Star Sapphires. We don't need a more sexual Lantern Corps.
Yeah. Okay. Droid Army for $5 with no comment. How's it going?
Thank you.
Okay, so this is one I was wanting to get to. Gilsner for $5. If you don't want sexualized characters, excuse me, as my voice cracks, don't adapt IPs with sexualized characters. Sadly, common sense isn't common among wokesters.
Wokesters.
No, wokesters.
Wokesters.
My throat is dry.
So like, do you think we could end up with like instead of like Dragula, we could come up with a song with wokesters in it?
Okay.
I think it'd be fun. Little white
I
zombie
think you should do it.
wokesters.
Oh, Culture Casino. Okay, you said it's the Filipino peso. That's what it is.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, Philippine peso. Yeah. But what's funny is, look, this is a great property. There are plenty of women who look like Faye.
Yeah.
And they didn't cast any of them. And
nope.
That's typically how that works, though, unfortunately. Yeah. I mean, remember when Age of Apocalypse came out and we saw that god-awful costume for Apocalypse? And there's like legit cosplayers out there that made costumes that look just like Apocalypse. And
again, this is endemic of an industry that does not respect its IPs, doesn't know why it should, and resents anyone who tells them that they should. Well, that's basically what this is.
What's the name of the rock character from what's it called? The Thor film that the people were like Planet Hulk.
I don't know. Korg. Yeah, Korg.
Okay, so you could actually do a Korg costume that is film quality that would require nothing. I mean, it's not you can make practical effects and things like that fairly easily.
And then buttress them with CG if you have to.
Yeah, well, yeah. And so, but when I see stuff like, people saying, well, women don't look like that, I'm like, okay, you have not been watching television or film for a very long time. Because,
or seen real women.
It's also this thing of, like, again, their entire worldview is driven by concepts and authority. So
right, but
their ideal concept of woman doesn't look like that. Therefore, no real life woman should look like that. And any woman that does try to look like that just has internalized misogyny, quote unquote.
But here's the thing:
if you don't agree with our ideology, you hate yourself. Is always the line.
But if you get a tall woman, right, and she doesn't have quite the bust size, right? Those can be prosthetically added, and it would be fine. It's just it's like we're really good with practical effects if you don't quite fit, the exact body dimensions. But guess what? There are a lot of women who do, and you only have to look at the redhead in Mad Men to see that there are women who have statuesque shapes.
Mm-hmm. You just have to watch the Olympics.
Yeah.
That also.
I've been going to comic conventions for 35 years, and the cosplayers do better than Hollywood.
They do way better.
Any day.
Because they respect the material and respect the character, usually, to some degree.
They look like they just stepped out of the comics. Yeah. Literally. Yeah. Or movies or whatever they've done. And they do better than Hollywood and do better than the comics.
Because they care about the material and they understand why it should be like that. Whereas modern day Hollywood does not know why things should be the way they are, does not care why things should be the way they are, and will actively resent anyone who does explain to them in any length of detail why things should be the way they are.
Yeah.
That's the long and short of it.
Stay at home. Yep. Hollywood, you should do better, Jed.
better, Hollywood. The male outrage following a long ongoing history of pitchfork-wielding men. You always seem to leave out the women that are also angry about this.
I was about to say, are there no lesbians all of a sudden? Even though we're contractually obligated to point out that lesbians exist.
There's straight women too that are mad about this too. I mean, that's the thing that's so funny is they always say it's just men. Because it's a very conveniently crafted narrative because it's always those sexist men. That hate these things. It's like, no, there's women. There's women that are fan of these properties as well. That's right. And obviously they get mad when it's not adapted properly as well.
And also fandom has it doesn't always have anything to do with sexuality. Like there are gay men who love Cowboy Bebop and would still prefer a situation where the women that are attractive remain as attractive or as close to it as we can get in the adaptation, if at all possible.
Yeah.
Like, does it just because I like the way a character looks doesn't mean I want to screw them. And just because I can want to screw a character and not like a character. That's like these are available options here.
Yep. Gathering in their town square of choice, be that Twitter or Reddit, and declaring war on any on-screen depiction of a female character that doesn't sexually gratify them. No, that's not what we're complaining about. We're complaining about the fact that it doesn't look like the character.
And that reflects an active devaluation of the material. That's the other thing. It would be one thing if this was the best actress, It would be one thing if we didn't live in a world with all this deconstructivist cultural theory crap, and you just happened to find an actress who was kick-ass in the role but didn't look the part. No one would bat an eye. But it's because we know that not only are you doing this on purpose, you're doing this on purpose for abstract moral reasons that make no fucking sense. That we get outraged.
One thing in this next sentence, I'm going to try and read it as smugly as possible because that's how it is. The one thing they always point out, it's a fictional character until it's their fictional character. Then they start bitching when things happen to it. In any case, the fictional bounty hunter stoking outrage this time around is Faye Valentine, portrayed by Daniela. I can't say her last name. Pineda? Okay. In the forthcoming Netflix remake of the popular sci-fi anime, which also stars Walking First Trap. What? Walking for Star Walking. Oh, okay. Because he was in Star Trek. First Trap John Cho as protagonist Spike Spiegel and Mustafa Sarik as fellow bounty hunter Jet Black. Cowboy Bebop is set in the way future at a time when traveling across moons and planets is the norm. And you know what's also the norm? Faye's outfit. Sexy ladies is also the norm.
And this is all academic at the end of the day, because after the atrocity that was the Netflix Death Note adaptation.
Oh god, that was terrible.
I want Netflix nowhere near any animes they don't make themselves. They seem to be pretty good at making animes themselves. Like Castlevania is amazeballs, Tresse was pretty good, Blood of Zeus is pretty good, but as far as making live action adaptations of anime, Netflix, no thank you, fuck off please.
Or Resident Evil, so.
Oh god, yeah. If you guys have the funny thing is, I think I watched half of Death Note before I saw the live action, and I was like, this is terrible. They did a great job with the Shikigami, but
that was Willem Dafoe as Ryuk, and honestly, in any universe where Willem Dafoe as Ryuk exists, I'm happy.
The CG was good too, but obviously William Dafoe was fantastic, but that wasn't Death Note.
No. In fact, I have kind of a conspiracy theory about the live action adaptation. What if the live action adaptation is actually a sequel to Death Note, where Ryuk gets bored again and decides to recreate the last time he was entertained, but he can't find appropriate surrogates, so it all goes to hell?
Yeah.
It makes that movie much better if you just assume this is Ryuk trying to recapture the magic of the first time he did this and failing horribly.
It kind of does make some sense there, if like he said it. So,
I'm gonna stop sharing this. I'm gonna share a culture sent over to me, because this is some absolute brilliant cosplay. So let's go. Let's take a look. Look at that. Looks like Faye Valentine.
Yep.
There you go.
Look at those boobs. By the way, those are pretty big, right? Because that's the thing that the chick that we're gonna follow later is gonna say is not possible. But
yeah.
Oh, she says it's not possible.
Yeah.
There's tons of cosplayer pictures that can show them it is possible.
I remember seeing this like last year.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different cosplayers. Some of these are like really, really good. And some not so much.
And other thing to consider here, most cosplayers work on a shoestring budget with almost no actual resources, and yet Hollywood, in its infinite, bottomless checkbook, can't find the money to best any cosplayer ever, it seems.
Yep. It's pretty sad, man. It is really sad.
Yeah, it's people that have lesser money can do stuff with more than people that have
a lot more creative.
It's almost like efficiency and actually giving a damn about what you're doing make a difference or something.
Yep.
But that can't be, because efficiency is a realm now. That we were under strict instructions to get over it.
It's like right now, if you try to remake The Fifth Element, you'll never have.
God, no, that will never be made.
You'll never be made with that, because the suspenders and just.
And I'm gonna be in a massive minority here, but I didn't even like the first one to begin with, so no, thank you.
She's actually pretty believable as Faye, I think.
Yeah, she is. So.
Anyway, so let's go check out the comment that she made on Twitter.
Okay, let's go see this.
Share audio
on all the fans.
Yeah.
Hey guys, so as you know, our Cowboy Bebop first look dropped today, which was so exciting. And I just wanted to address a couple of things that sort of keep coming up in the comments amongst fans. First, I wanted to apologize to the fans that I did not anatomically match the Faye Valentine character. 6 foot, double D size breast, 2-inch waist. They looked everywhere for that one.
Does anybody notice that she actually has the parody SJW voice?
She does. Parody Karen SJW voice.
She actually has that voice, and I'm sitting here trying not to lull myself to death, because it's like, how does a person who actually sounds like that exist?
Well, first off, I have to say it's not her fault. It's the casting director's fault.
Yeah, it is.
I know, but it's still like, why? Yeah. Why is this existing?
It's also her fault for not being Japanese. I'm just throwing that out
there. So they just went with my short ass. I know. Am I right? There was talk about can we put Daniela in a time machine and maybe give her different parents so she has different genetic information to sort of make her look better? It proved to be too complicated. And the other thing I wanted to bring up was I want to apologize that the outfit I'm wearing is not exactly what she wears in the anime. We tried. But doing stunts in tissue paper, things disappear, they rip. Sometimes it just got anyway, like I was saying, the original cover.
The straw is very strong with this particular woman.
Yeah.
I can tell you guys, it really makes me want to watch this TV show now.
Yeah.
No, it makes me want to repeatedly slap this woman, and not because she is a woman or because I'm angry or anything. It's because, much like with the voice, if you gave half of a fuck, there are ways that you can tone down your less agreeable elements and tone up those elements that are agreeable. There are vocal coaches that can teach you not to speak with that annoying inflection that sounds like you're asking a question every 5 minutes. That it can be done. So, especially with stupid and Netflix levels of stupid money. So, just no, collectively, just all the
remember, it does sound like.
It's a platform, Dalton. It's a platform.
I know, but
they made a couple of them, but like I said, they got sort of slurped up in my various crevices, never to be retrieved again. So we needed to really build something that could withstand the test of time. So just,
So you could have called the costume designer for the MCU, but I know a lot of people shit on the MCU. But the one thing you can say for the MCU is they are very good at translating what should be, monotoned or untextured fabric into realistic looking textured fabric using proper costume designing.
Or they could actually go and call a cosplayer.
Is nobody worried that they can retrieve the lost material in their crevices?
I'm sure it'll be fine, guys. Scar.
I'm sure she'll be suing and me tooing the production team as soon as this has wrapped. Not before though, because then she wouldn't get paid and she wouldn't have fame and fortune and whatnot. So yeah,
depends on percentage and tickets of viewers. I mean,
yeah.
Imperitus for $2. This has me worried about the live action Gundam. Are they actually doing a live action Gundam? Netflix doing that, or is it actually being done by Japan?
Can we get Guillermo del Toro to do that, please? He's the only one I trust.
He actually gives a shit about comics and whatnot.
And Pacific Rim needs a better sequel than the one that actually exists, so we can just pretend it's a Pacific Rim sequel, if you like.
Actually, it is.
Yep. Grim Potakin for 5 American pesos. The actress is see you next Tuesday. Yes, she is a cunt. I would post that on Twitter, but Twitter would ban me for it.
You get smacked down like instantly for saying that. So
yeah, she looks like she should be a PA or a vanity. Also, Jet is not black. It's fine. I already watched the real Cowboy Bebop.
I'll rewatch it. It's been years since I've seen it.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Jet's ethnicity is kind of ambiguous. I would say maybe he could be biracial, but I don't know. I know that the voice actor that played him was black. Toxic Man Flu of Dixivision for 5 American pesos. Remember the scene in Airplane where they line up, slap? Yeah. The hysterical chick? That. Yeah. The Stay at Home Podcast, James Cruz, for another 50 Filipino pesos. So this is what we have for actors now. Bullshit. Apparently. This is what entertainment is coming down to.
These are the approved agents. We are under strict instructions to get over it. See you next Tuesday.
The other thing I complained about, not on Twitter, but in my head, when I saw the photo, is like, why is Faye holding the leash of Ein?
I said that too.
Yeah,
because they don't know or care about this.
I was like,
where was Ed in all this? And by the way, Ein was never on a leash. There's that too.
Yeah.
So
symbolic.
Yeah.
Symbolism.
Yes.
Deep breaths. What else can we do?
Yeah. Well, I can tell you what we can't do is not watch this TV show.
That is correct. That is true.
However, that wouldn't make for very good YouTube.
There are some things that I am obligated to watch, like Netflix's Sandman, because I'm the only person that I know of that's qualified to riff on it if it's bad. But
you're not the only one around here that has read Sandman, buddy. Just saying.
No, but it is one of my core areas of fandom, and a lot of people were making very, very stupid arguments complaining about the casting a while ago. I did like a 2-hour rant on it on the podcast of the Storm. I believe it was podcast number 116, if anyone's interested in my extended thoughts on that. But I am not obligated to watch Cowboy Bebop, so I'm not going to. You may force me to watch You Destroy My Favorite Comic, Netflix, but you will not force me to watch Cowboy Bebop be ruined.
Yeah. Well, I'll watch it and I'll review it because I do like Cowboy Bebop. I like it a lot, and I don't understand why they're even adapting it. There's certain things that are just perfect the way they are, and whatever Americans tend to go and adapt a foreign property, they really fuck it up.
But I hate acquiescing to that argument because it doesn't have to be that way.
Yeah.
If people just did their research and gave a fuck, there's no reason why every single adaptation we get couldn't be on par with The Lord of the Rings. You want to know why? Because Peter Jackson made Lord of the Rings as a passion project and something he had been wanting to do for decades. If we could just get the people who want to do these things as passion projects involved and the people with the skills necessary to translate them, there's no reason this couldn't.
Okay, Dalton, I'm with you there, except that I want you to evaluate what's going to happen with Black Adam, because The Rock has been chasing that product, that particular film, that role, that opportunity for a decade. He's wanted to play the character Black Adam in, DC, right? So I'm going to ask you a question. Do you have faith in The Rock to make that character true to the comics?
No, he's probably going to be too likable, but on some level, I don't really blame The Rock for that. And quite frankly, I'm not going to see Black Adam for Black Adam. I'm going to see Black Adam for the Justice Society, which DC should have already adapted, because as I said many years ago when the cinematic universes were first getting rolling, the smart thing for DC to do, if they want to genuinely compete with Marvel, is adapt shit from their golden age, because Marvel was timely during the golden age, and they only kept like 3 characters from their golden age. So DC, if you want to beat Marvel something they can't follow you on, adapt your golden age shit, you morons. Please. And then do a passing of the torch between the Justice Society and the League.
Do you really want them to do that, Dalton? Because right now, the writers, the producers, the people in Hollywood are decimating these characters through deconstruction and, other writing is how I'm going to call it. That essentially gives everybody a giant what if middle finger about the characters that they've loved their entire lives. Is that really what you want? You want them to go back and fuck the golden age? That's my question.
No, what I want them to do is to knock off that deconstructionist shit and then do the incredibly obvious thing that should have been obvious from the get-go.
One of these things is going to happen and one is not.
Yeah, and they've already said that they're going to screw with the Justice Society in the movie. They're switching, beacon people. Ma Crinkle's going to be like some trans, and then they're going to turn Cyclone into they've already the last indicator. I've actually looked this up so much it pisses me off. They're totally going to screw it up.
So they're basically.
I'm sure they're going to screw with my favorite character in the Justice Society as well. Although to be fair, they've been screwing around with Dr. Fate in the comics for years. So at this point, that character needs to be taken out back and shot. And for those that don't know what I'm talking about, Dr. Fate was not originally possessed by Naboo. The initial relationship between Kent Nielsen and Naboo was the relationship of a father to an adopted son. Because in his origin story, Kent Nielsen's father, who was an archaeologist, died when they woke up Naboo from his tomb, and Naboo decided to teach him magic and take him under his wing and make him a sorcerer as a result of that. And when Naboo died, because his mortal body passed on, he chose to make the helmet so that he could still be close enough to Kent and protect him. And what's more, the Helm of Fate is basically the equivalent of Superman's Fortress of Solitude if he could wear it. That's what the Helm of Fate is supposed to be. But ever since after Days of Vengeance, when Naboo died, and they should have just left him dead, they forgot that Kent and Naboo were partners and surrogate family, and they just made Naboo need a meat puppet for some reason. I hate the possession retcon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I want to read this real quick from Infurter. He says, fun fact, they originally were going to have a husky instead of a corgi to play Ein. Yeah, I remember that. That's why I was kind of shocked when I saw the picture and they had a corgi there. Because I remember them saying that they're going to do a husky.
Well, that's because people flipped out. To be honest with you, that was a reaction on their part to correct. Said oopsie.
Mm-hmm.
And Ein is a key element of the show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is. It is.
I don't even. I get so.
Yeah, I understand culture. Trust me.
It's hard for me because there's a handful of anime that I'm really into that I really enjoy. Some of them, I could take or leave, but Cowboy Bebop's one of those. I'm like, you can't F this one up, man. You just can't. I mean,
they're going
to. They're so gonna screw this. It's not gonna be even funny.
But I'm right there. I'm right there with you, culture. I'm always the guy who goes, This should by default be simpler than putting together an IKEA IKEA piece of furniture. How do you fuck it up?
Yeah,
it's like that line from History of Violence. How do you fuck that up? How do you fuck that up?
You give it to somebody who doesn't care. But what's interesting is Gaskar has not said anything for like 4 or 5 hours. So maybe
I haven't. I have.
No, you should say some things. Say some things.
Well, my thing is about Black Adam. One thing's for certain. He's worked his ass off in order to get his body freaking completely sculpted for that freaking. Oh, well, see the suit? It's just material.
I know it's bare. Yeah, he doesn't need any padding. It's just this fits me, and that's it.
And then you have I forgot the actor's name, all in this foamed up suit with
exactly Levi. I know. I hated that shit. Honestly, what they should have done is they should have casted John Cena as Shazam in the Shazam movie, and then we could have had John Cena versus The Rock when Shazam and Black Adam inevitably fight each other, because they will.
I know. No. You don't want to start putting. Don't make this a wrestling freaking.
Yeah.
No, but I'm saying in terms of the physicality, if you're going to have Zachary Levi up against The Rock, then it needs to be somebody who can actually match The Rock's physicality.
But look at the dude that was Kick-Ass, right? Aaron Taylor Johnson, right? Dude's yoked right now because he's about to play a superhero. Dude's freaking jacked. He's going to be Craven, right? Dude's like,
as in the Hunter.
Oh,
yeah.
Dude is yoked, man. He's got like abs. He's carved. Dude, he put in the time. Our boy.
You kind of need to be if you're going to be playing Craven.
Oh, Craven's got to be a buff, big badass. Like you can't have it. Like.
But you have people that actually dedicate themselves to the role. So Gaskar is 1,000% right. I mean, Chris Hemsworth, yoked. He doesn't. The dude doesn't stop lifting. I mean, he's like, I'm going to be in shape to do this character forever.
Yeah.
Right. And and when whoever pulls the plug on him being Thor, dude's still going to be in shape, because guess what? Being in shape makes you money in Hollywood, right? No matter what.
Again, it's the thing of sexuality is a power, not a victimhood.
It is, and that's the thing, is they want to take away people's power. Being healthy, being in good shape, taking care of yourself. You know what? They want to shun that because they have no interest in you.
They convince themselves it's a victimhood somehow.
Yeah, well,
you're oppressed when you can draw the attention of every eye in the room for some reason.
They champion the people who are less dedicated to maintaining their health and physical appearance, et cetera, et cetera.
All right, I want to get the super chats real quick because I want to get the Danny's, because he has one for you.
Oh yeah, Danny did send one. So.
All right, toxic van of Dick's Fishing for 2 American pesos. Can't understand normal thinking. And of course it jumps. 1 second.
Danny has one for me?
Yes, he does.
Culture, I did not understand what you said, how it jumps, until I was out with comics. Till I was out with Culture the other night. It does that. Oh my god, I was so frustrated.
If you don't scroll down slowly, it'll jump.
I was doing it on the phone, and I was like, Culture, can you help me?
Oh God, zillionaire for 2 American pesos, and here comes the Drew. So beware the Drew. I should be a black lab because diversity.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
that's probably true.
I apologize.
All right, here we go. Hell yeah, I got faith in The Rock.
Sure you
what you smoking?
This is the thing. I think, okay, so in appearance wise, The Rock is perfect for Black Adam. Right, there is no doubt about it. I mean,
clearly the passion is there because he's been lobbying to play the character for a decade.
Mm-hmm.
I can smell what he's cooking. Take out your nose plugs, Culture.
And I love wrestling, and The Rock was one of my favorites, man. I mean, you have to remember, I mean, I was in love with wrestling longer than most of the people that are watching us were alive, and so it's like it's this weird place to be where I'm like, I'm like going, okay, I'm worried because I want Black Adam to be from the books. I don't want him to be some manipulation of the modern vision of craptasticness that is everything that's entertainment right now. And that's the thing. Danny, I want this to be good. I just understand. He, like I said, perfect body type, right? Gaskar and I just said there is nothing. His suit is cloth. I mean, it's like little stretchy. It's like ribbing. That's it. It's just that dude. It's because he's just friggin' amazing, right? But at the same time, I'm worried what the story will bring because they are making some fundamental changes in the Justice Society.
It's also the fundamental issue I have of even when everything on paper works for them, even when the stars align and they have a perfect storm, they still somehow manage to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. It's like my trepidations with Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
So
on paper.
But look, if somebody doesn't get in the way at the studio, okay, because that's been the problem you're talking about, Dalton. It's the
DC is its own most powerful supervillain, basically.
No, Warner executives are the worst villain in
DC Studios is what I meant.
All right, I got one more chat from Danny for $1.99. I'm dying to see him give someone the eyebrow.
Lol.
Do you smell what Black Adam is cooking?
I can't look. Yeah, although I don't want to see the people's elbow in Black Adam. If I see that, I'm going to be a little disappointed.
Rips off his sleeve.
I don't know any wrestling moves because I was not watching when he was.
Oh wow! Oh my gosh! Yeah, the people's elbow.
Times.
Yeah, he was. The dude was a showman, just like his dad. I mean, Rocky Johnson was a showman. I don't know. I was. My dad had me watching wrestling from way back. I mean, we watched like local promotion stuff and the things that came in over WGN, and back when it was a super station before there was like real distribution of wrestling promotions. But it just, like I said, I mean, I want this to be good. But if the studio, Dalton, if the studio doesn't F it up, right? It might be, but I don't have a lot of faith in modern writing. And again, if this makes its way down the normal path,
they'll find a way to fuck up what should otherwise be a perfect storm, like with Doctor Strange too. And I'm gonna go through it because you guys, you can tell me if I'm crazy or not. But we've got the director who gave us Evil Dead and Darkman, okay. And also Oz the Great and Powerful, so we know he can work with CG. We've got a writer who works for Rick and Morty. We've got a composer who was Tim Burton's go-to composer. We've got a title that homages both John Carpenter and H.P. Lovecraft. How in all the hells, and we've got all the setup by WandaVision and What If, and Loki, and also Spider-Man. So you tell me, in what sane universe is this not as simple as putting an IKEA appliance together?
Because it's Disney Marvel.
You insert factor A into slot B, and you make $2 million like that, and it becomes our generation's answer to Ghostbusters. That's what this should be. You've got so many factors going your way, and I still lie awake at night sometimes going, even with everything going for them, even with the perfect storm of variables, they might still fuck it up somehow.
Oh, they are. They're going to. And they're going to destroy Doctor Strange in the process.
I have zero faith. I think at this point I should just send Chris Knight and Danny a link so they can join too.
Yeah, just send them a link so they can.
I have zero faith. obviously we keep a running tally of what's going on with all these franchises via bounding and all the stuff that we've covered and we've seen. Forget it. It's all gonna go to woke BS in the end, because that is the chosen path.
All right. The deed is done. If they show
how culture feels about Shazam, right? And as much as we like, Tobey Maguire stuff, I still didn't feel that was like.
No, it's not as good as everyone thinks. To be honest with you, it doesn't hold up.
But it's still not the character that you fell in love with in the books, and that's the thing, right? We want that back, right? And we're not getting that back to that level because of politics.
No, and that's exactly
Chris is trying to say something.
That's exactly
Chris. Hey, Chris.
I don't care what anybody says. Manchester United all the way next year, guaranteed.
Glory, Man United, brother.
You're wishing on that Ronaldo comeback.
Yeah.
Good to see you, Chris.
We lost all.
Well, hey guys, how you doing? I was just backstage with LEG. We were watching, and I typed in there really quick. I'm like setting up streams for next week. I'm like, I gotta get back on the schedule. What are we talking about?
Dude, I feel, man, Chris, I don't know if I'm coming or going. All this stuff the last 48 hours with my mom and everything. I'm just mind fucked right now. And again, I want to say thank you to everybody that's reached out, the prayers and everything else. Thank you so much. I don't know if she's going to be allowed to come home tomorrow. Tomorrow looks doubtful. Hopefully Saturday. But yeah, there's just some concerns going on, and it's rough.
Yep. Sorry, man.
No, it's all right. It helps at least to be around friends, and it was nice to be able to do Pegasus tonight, and nice to kind of keep some normalcy by hanging out here, and that does help, believe me. And thank you so much to the viewers, because all you guys are beyond viewers, you're friends, and just thanks for the positivity and the support. I love you.
Right on, dude. I hope your mom comes home soon.
Yeah.
I apologize if I just talked over anybody, because StreamYard did that thing where anyone who comes in after you can't hear them, so I had to reboot.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha. Give me a second. I want to get to Danny's comment, but let me get through these super chats real quick. All right. Talks about Fluid Division. 5 American pesos. If Drew was playing Black Adam instead of The Rock, the suit would need triple stitching in the crotch to hold the monster at bay. #Drew.
Oh, man.
Comic chat for $1.99. He's going to be an anti-hero. Sorry, culture.
Oh, I know.
Yeah,
I know Black Adam.
Yeah.
Let me find his other comment and see if I can highlight.
Does it seem like they're kind of going overboard though on all the anti-hero stuff all of a sudden?
I honestly don't know. I haven't really been paying attention.
But Chris, I think a lot of it is because they don't understand heroism.
That's true too.
Are you talking about like in movies
they don't
in general,
value it. They understand
the
it perfectly well. They just consider that concept to be negative.
Maybe.
I mean mostly the movies right now.
I would say specifically with Marvel, they've been doing kind of the anti-hero thing for years. So I think with Marvel, it's kind of bleeding over because it was in the comics. Okay, Danny says, just because fans don't like it doesn't mean that they effed it up. Profit is the name of the game. I'm going to agree with you there. That's why Kathleen Kennedy is still employed. Her films were profitable. Sorry.
Except they weren't, because they made half of what the previous movies made.
The first one was profitable.
Respectfully,
it was diminishing returns from there. What should have happened Well, hang on. Let me finish my point. That number should have been going up, trending up, not down. Now, the other thing too, because of all the reshoots and the marketing stuff, I doubt that Last Jedi was profitable. I would think at a minimum it broke even.
The third film cost them nearly $600 million all told with advertising, with the reshoots, with everything else that they did to the film.
Yeah,
it was probably the most expensive film ever made, and advertised and marketed. I mean, all of the different levels of marketing that they did. They even did the same thing they did with Captain Marvel, where they gave away entire theaters worth of showings to different groups. And counted those tickets as sales, which is one of the reasons that they're currently under an SEC investigation. And so there's a lot going on. I'm not certain how I would hang my hat on that film. I definitely
the first one for sure was profitable. I mean, that $2 billion.
Rogue One,
it made money.
It did. Yes, but you were right about the diminishing returns. Solo lost a considerable amount of money.
It lost a shit ton.
But Solo was the after effects of the second one, right?
Yes.
Because the second one got
Last Jedi made half of what the previous movie made.
But guys, Disney doesn't give a crap. Look at the crap they put out. If dollars come in, they don't care.
Okay,
listen, the second that people start realizing that Disney doesn't give a shit.
Pretty fucking apparent.
I'm saying, but still, people are sitting here thinking that something's going to change.
Oh, I don't think
even Solo didn't change it.
No,
here's the other.
Wait.
They spent $4 billion to buy Lucasfilm from George. Okay, $4 billion and change. Okay, do you know how much is still on the books for them?
I know is
after it's all said and done, how much is on the books for them that they still owe for Lucasfilm?
Zero.
No, not even close.
They are $4 billion in the hole still.
Yeah.
Remember, in order to actually be considered profitable, a movie can't just make its money back. It has to double or even sometimes triple its money in order to be considered profitable.
Yep.
And with all this COVID stuff, if they weren't running a deficit before, they are running a deficit now for sure.
Yeah.
The only thing that's saving them is that everyone else is also running a deficit now.
More facts. They spent $1 billion in 2 different locations in the United States to make failed theme park editions in Galaxy's Edge in California. $1 billion. Then they spent another $1 billion in Florida. Yep. So they spent billions.
What you're counting is stuff.
Zero.
But you guys are counting stuff that they count as it's theirs now, and that doesn't go against the $4 billion. They, according to Wall Street Journal, Forbes, CNBC, and about 3 other places, in 6 years they have paid off that $4 billion.
No, they never lie ever, do they?
That's the biggest lie I've ever heard.
It's not unreasonable that they paid it off.
They recouped the $4 billion. Now,
not off the
what
movies.
They put in after. Well, listen,
merchandise.
Off merchandise.
However they did it, they recouped the $4 billion. Now I'm not denying the fact that Galaxy's Edge cost them a shit ton of money and they haven't gotten that back.
How much it was.
Well, I know, but what I mean is
$1 billion per location. The most expensive editions, 14 acres in both locations that are complete waste of money.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not denying that.
I never thought of that point, Culture.
But listen, as I've always pointed out with Disney, for instance, Euro Disney, let's just start with Euro Disney. It's now Disneyland Paris. They sat on the brink as a company of bankruptcy for like 15 years with that park. They constantly
that park was on that verge. Yes, but see, back then, let me finish this. You're talking to somebody who knows this stuff, Chris.
But I just went over this not too long ago, though.
That's fine.
The company itself was on the brink of it.
Who were their partners in Paris?
I do not even remember that part of it. I just remember reading the numbers, and it stated that not only was that park on the verge of bankruptcy, but it literally took the company on the verge of bankruptcy.
No, what they did is they put themselves they bought out the partners to a point where they became not only majority shareholders but super majority ownership of that park from when it was originally run. You can look it up, Chris. It's fine. But it's just like this is the other thing people don't understand. Who owns the park in Japan?
I don't even know that because I haven't looked that up in the years. So.
Oriental Land Company. They control the two parks that are in Japan. They're only 50-50 partners with essentially the government in China, in both Shanghai and now Hong Kong. Which Hong Kong they had a larger chunk of ownership until Hong Kong turned into China again. I'm sorry, these are some of those facts. So it's just go ahead.
My point
I legit have a question. You said that they paid it off the loan for purchasing Star Wars. Where did that money come from? I'm not saying that they don't have the money.
I don't know if I have that right now.
Okay, because I know that they didn't weren't God, what am I trying to say here? They didn't get that money from the movies because they didn't make enough to pay it off. I also want to get to Danny's next comment. He's like, bro, I'm not saying I like them. Yeah, dude, I know. I don't like them either.
Yeah, no, Danny, dude,
hang on, let me finish reading it. I'm just saying why I believe she still has a job. My 2 cents. I agree, dude. There's a reason why she still has a job. I personally don't know what it is.
No, I don't either.
I mean,
my money would be on the morals, like you guys, more than anything, because it's the popular worldview among the aristocratic establishment. That's the thing.
And I think that she has dirt on somebody still that will, that's the only reason that she can keep that job.
Let's also be fair to her. Her entire career basically is failing upward and taking partial credit for the.
She grifted on everybody.
Achievements of other people. Even before she got hired by Lucasfilm, though, even when she was still under George, a lot of her failing upward, because that's what it amounted to, was her taking partial credit for something that somebody else had done.
She's been grifting on Spielberg and Lucas for
hold up. I agree with Culture, with what he said. That's a lady that carries a lot of stroke in Hollywood. She carries a lot of stroke in that company. And no, she's not going to be deposed anytime soon because she's got that cachet.
And she's got the woman card, which also helps.
And it's like Culture said, she probably has some dirt on some people because she's been around for a long time.
It's also possible she's just good at playing the social game. And maybe I'm making this connection because I've been watching Survivor reruns a lot recently. But in Hollywood, a large part of what makes you a commodity is your ability to play the social game and connect with people behind the scenes. The old saying, it's not
it's who you know.
It's not what you do, it's who you know and who you blow. Well, she is probably fairly good at that social game enough that people give her, there's a reason I said failing upward, because she does fail upward.
Well, and the other thing too, when she was initially announced, a lot of people were like, it made sense for her to take over because she was basically, George Lucas's right-hand woman. Okay. So
the question is, of course, Danny, how much actual work was she doing versus how much of it was just I like you, Kathleen. Here, have this token position in my company where you'll never ever have to do any meaningful work ever because I'm George freaking Lucas.
I think she actually sold to Lucas that she was going to foster and protect his vision.
Yeah, which she did not do, apparently.
Well, I'm not disagreeing with that.
Pissed off. That's why the fans are pissed.
I think because here's the thing. I mean, she started out as an overglorified secretary that started weaseling her way into productions and stuff like that. But she was always on the right hand side of but she was on the right hand side of Spielberg and Lucas. And as time went on, she got her own production credits and stuff like that. And I think her and Lucas were working on the third or the new trilogy, and she was working with him in that. And then again, somewhere along the line, Lucas was probably brought into a meeting with Iger and talking to him, the conversation came up of, well, you know, I'm just kind of over this now, but I got to finish this. I want to finish this, and you know, but I'm wanting to move on to the next thing. And Iger saw an opportunity and just kind of weaseled his way into saying, well, if you were to put a number on it, how much would you do? And of course, George, thinking, well, this means a lot to me, threw out a number that he probably thought was so absurd that nobody would go for it.
I also think he wanted to unburden
we have that
himself.
because we're Disney.
Yes, but this is the other thing that a lot of Star Wars fans can't, not every Star Wars fan, but a lot of Star Wars fans can't fathom, is that by signing this over to Disney, this was his way of done.
Washing his hands.
Walking away and never having to think of it again. Now he had
instant regret for it though.
Yes, he has. And he has made statements since that time. But here's the problem. Whether or not he can afford it or not, I don't think and I don't know if care is the right word. I don't think he's interested enough to take it over again.
He doesn't want to take the mantle back, effectively, is what the
exactly.
thing. Because the thing with George Lucas is there's a reason why why the internet invented the term George Lucas syndrome to describe creative directors with no leash. And I think George Lucas's experiences with the prequel trilogy and realizing that a large part of what made the original trilogy successful wasn't him, it was the people he was working with. Mm-hmm. That probably did a massive number on his ego, especially because for the entire previous 2 decades, everyone was attributing everything good about Star Wars to George Lucas specifically. But when the prequels happened and everyone saw that George Lucas syndrome exists and that it wasn't George Lucas primarily that made Star Wars good, it was the people who put him on a leash that made Star Wars good, that probably demoralized him significantly. And so he was probably thinking, I don't want to be known as the Star Wars guy forever, because that also means taking responsibility for every single stupid mistake I've ever made since I've been off the leash.
Okay.
So he gave the mantle to somebody else, and now it's no longer his thing.
I want to get to Danny's comment. Sorry, dude. I want to correct myself. I said Last Jedi when I meant Rise of Skywalker, because I think that the other 2 movies definitely made their money back. The one that is in question is Rise of Skywalker. Now, as you pointed out, that basically what they have listed as the budget is 275 million. Now, I've heard that there was reshoots that drove that number up.
Yeah, mind you, they never factor in reshoots, advertising, or distribution.
That's the thing. There's other things that factor in that they don't record, which is the reshoots, the marketing budget, et cetera, which pushes that number up. Like I said, I think that movie broke even. It probably did make profit, but my point is that when The Force Awakens came out, it made $2 billion, and each movie afterwards went down and down. That number should have gone up and up. If they played their cards right and they did things right, in my opinion, The Rise of Skywalker, or the 3rd movie in the trilogy, in my opinion, should have broke $4 billion.
Because when your audience is happy, appreciating investment is what happens. Look at and I know this is going to piss a lot of people off, but look at the MCU before Endgame. Every single movie trended upward, no matter what the property was or what comparison you made. The MCU is a perfect example of what should have happened with Star Wars. But
what did Endgame make?
2.6, I believe, billion. Or somewhere in that.
Yeah, 2.7. Okay, so they almost broke 3 billion. They got very, very close. And again, this is you could say it's an established property, but not as established as Star Wars. And that is definitely
the thing with Marvel is they did all their own legwork to make themselves the next Star Wars, is what it amounts to. And most of that is Kevin Feige, to his credit. Whatever you may think of the man, whatever you may think of Phase 4, Kevin Feige is a nerd who made it big, like we could only ever dream to.
Because he was a fan.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
because
why
he actually gave a damn.
Fan. Exactly.
Yeah. That was my point in pointing out that he was a nerd and is a nerd. That's why for all their failings, I can't ever really bring myself to hate the MCU, because I know if I were Kevin Feige, I would probably be in the exact same headspace as he is.
Yep.
Especially when you have that circle around you, above you.
Yeah, I would have made different choices with the MCU, and I've been unshy about explaining how I think a lot of the problems with the MCU come not from social justice stuff, not from identity politics, not from any of that, but from simply not putting two and two together and coming up with 4. Because some decisions should be obvious from a creative standpoint, and some ways that they can maximize the potential of their world building should be obvious. Like, perfect example, they might not have been able to use Mistress Death in the Infinity Gauntlet storyline, but they had Hela, who is a goddess of death, and she was played by Cate Blanchett. There is no earthly reason why they couldn't have just swapped Mistress Death for Hela, bearing in mind they didn't have the rights to Mistress Death at the time.
Right.
And the entire it could have gone off without a hitch. The entire fan base would have been happy, and no plot holes would have existed. But now, because of the line from Avengers of "to challenge them is to court death," knowing smile to the camera. Now there's a plot hole because you set up the courting death thing, and you never even attempted to pay it off. It's that kind of laziness and that kind of refusing to put 2 and 2 together and get 4 that bothers me about the MCU.
Yeah,
the snatching
and that's
from
the
the
other thing too,
obvious
is
jaws
that we all knew that they were ultimately going to be ending it with the Infinity Gauntlet storyline, which they did. But yeah, I mean, there's certain things I would have changed too. But yeah, I mean, removing that aspect, it makes sense to a degree with the rights. But yeah, you're right. They did have a substitute that they could have used. Trying to remember what else. For me, as much as I do appreciate the MCU a lot of my issues with it is that it did become very formulaic after Winter Soldier.
Yeah, I mean, the difference between Star Wars and the Marvel properties, I think, and I've always believed this, is that Kevin Feige had already been doing stuff with Marvel Studios before it became a part of Disney, but he had an outline at least. Mm-hmm. I don't know how much of an outline, but he had pretty much, I'm going to say, most of the 10-year up through Phase 3 kind of planned out. And when he came in to Disney, when Disney bought it, he plopped down, this is metaphorically speaking, plopped down his notebook saying, here's my outline, flipped through some pages saying, this is my idea, and this might change here, this might move here, but this is my idea. And Bob Iger was like, great, go, have fun. And they did it. The difference between that and Star Wars is he brought Kathleen Kennedy in. She's like, I don't know. We got all this stuff we could do. We can do this and this and this.
I don't know or care about
no plan. They had no plan. Mm-hmm. And then everybody wanted their hands in it. Oh, this is such a great property. We can do so much with this property.
Well, the thing that kind of sucked about it is that, I mean, they had several movies that got axed because originally Captain Marvel was supposed to be a part of Phase 2, along with the Inhumans, which they
and Ant-Man and the Wasp,
awful TV series.
Mm. And, the Inhumans though were originally Ike Perlmutter's thing, because the other thing about the MCU,
I know, but it was because of the whole thing between
they wanted a surrogate for the mutants that they could actually use is the thing, and that's the other thing about the MCU and why it took so long for them to break formula, was because for the first 5 or 6 years of the MCU, Ike Perlmutter put the brakes on a lot of Kevin Feige's zanier ideas,
but that's why they were successful.
Not really. A lot of the
movies. I think they didn't make as much, mainly because they were just getting started. But a lot of the formulaicness that everyone likes to harp on is more Ike Perlmutter's refusal to take risks and listen to Kevin Feige when he came in with the crazy geek
gasm.
Are you talking about like Ant-Man, or what do you?
No. Perlmutter. Well, don't make me look this up. Perlmutter was fired before, and then Feige cut loose, and we got all of the zany crazy, and we got the formulaic zany crazy. We got the Joss Whedon humor in every damn film. We got a lot of the things that have become incredibly annoying because they got rid of Perlmutter. Right. There were some things that made him very unpopular. I agree with you. There were some ideas that Ike Perlmutter had that were probably holding back.
That he forced onto the MCU as well.
Possibly.
Case in point, Inhumans.
There's a lot of things in there that, but for me, as much as I like Ant-Man, it was just a retread of Iron Man.
Yeah.
But then again, if it had happened in phase 1 or 2 when it was supposed to, instead of when it actually happened, it wouldn't have seemed quite as bad.
Well, the other thing too is that they fired what's his name? I can't remember, the guy that works with Simon Pegg. He
Edgar Wright.
Edgar Wright, yeah. It's like that movie would have been very different if Edgar Wright was still in charge of it.
Well, again, I mean, okay, so let's.
It probably would have been better.
Revisionist history left if Jon Favreau hadn't got an elbow to the sternum that got him, shoved out the door to do other stuff, and then to go on to create a film called Chef to essentially,
which is fantastic, by the way.
Yeah,
it is good. Yeah.
To create an allegory for what happened to him in Hollywood, which nobody really realizes what that film is about. And
that I did not know.
Yeah, your friends.
I also find it kind of funny culture that you use the phrase "elbow to the sternum," given where Iron Man's arc reactor is.
I know. That was the reason.
Was it deliberate? Okay, good.
It was, yeah.
Well
and so,
played.
Of course it was. I usually say things, and most people don't pick them up. But anyway, so but to be honest with you, he was essentially set aside, and Chef was his answer to it. And if you listen to the folks over at Midnight Edge, they'll tell you exactly how beat for beat he's telling the story of how he was essentially removed from running Marvel at that point, because it was I know a lot of people like to think Feige's the genius, but you would not have the MCU without what was created
without
by
Jon Favreau providing the foundation. But to be fair, a lot of that was working with Kevin Feige.
Well, I'm not going to say that, but creatively, direction, story, all Favreau, which is why when he showed back up at Disney with Star Wars, you got something that felt Star Warsy. I'm going to use
because he actually cared about Star Wars and wanted to
he couldn't tell the stories he wanted to, and he knew that, and he couldn't tell them the way he wanted to, but he got away with as much as he could, and that's why The Mandalorian drew some people back into Star Wars after the property itself is essentially flipped off 40 plus years of fans. Right. And you're talking to an OG when it comes to Star Wars. You're talking to the little kid that was in the theater at 6 and 7 years old that begged a family member to take him to see Star Wars every single month at least. I saw that film at least 12 times when it was released. I went once a month. I swear to God, I annoyed the shit out of people because I wanted to see that film again.
Well, I mean, for the love of God, it's Star Wars. I mean, in retrospect, this really isn't demanding. So.
Yeah. And back then, kids, for those of you in the audience, it wasn't called A New Hope. It was Star Wars.
Star Wars.
I still call it Star Wars to this day because I can't bring myself to do it. And I understand that he had a reason, and that happened in 1981 when he released all the the fifth one.
Yeah, like it or not, the first movie is chapter 4 of the story. Let's be perfectly.
Yeah, but I mean, again,
there was George started where he wanted to start in that story. Chris was probably about to say exactly that because he and I have the same kind of feeling about the way this was. That was the film. If there were no other films, that would have been Star Wars. That would have been it. Everybody would have been talking about it like Close Encounters.
Yeah, but that means no Empire. No universe without Empire, and it is a viable universe. I'm sorry.
Wait, don't even go there. Go ahead, Chris. I'm sorry.
Well, I was just going to say, the thing was he had lots of warnings from people who had read the script treatments. He had revised it so many times.
You're never going to make this work, George. It's too
exactly. The first edit that he showed to the studio execs and to Steven Spielberg, who had an invested interest, because let's remember that his first blockbuster, Jaws, was the only thing really that helped get Star Wars even thought about.
Made. Yeah.
Well,
it was a complete disaster until his Lucas's wife did a fantastic job.
So that's the thing.
Wait, let me add just one element to that. Okay, American Graffiti.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yes.
All right.
Okay. He did have American Graffiti, and so yes, there was part of that to it. But he
American
showed this
Graffiti
to
with Jaws is the thing.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's a pretty damn good movie. But he showed him this, whatever it was, and Spielberg and several other people kind of looked at him and says, "This isn't what you're going to release, is it?" And then his wife came in, and over a weekend with, and I'm sorry, I don't remember who the other editor was on it. There was two of them that sat through the editing room, and they re-edited it. And again, a great piece on YouTube is Star Wars Saved in the Edit. It's a great piece. If you don't know anything about the troubles that Star Wars had, it's one of the things you got to watch. But they had
it's
so
kind of
many
funny.
problems.
Something similar happened with June Lee and Stan Lee back when Stan Lee was first getting going. He initially wanted to basically walk out the door and kiss comics goodbye, and June his wife was the one who insisted, no, you can tell those kind of stories in comic form. Just stay here and build something here.
Yeah.
All right. I want to get through some super chats real quick, and I want to talk about the Overwatch stuff. And I know that some of you guys got to bail, so we'll call it at midnight. All right. So starting off with Mike likes tacos for 10 American pesos. They can be creative with the accounting better than anyone. The damage to their cash flow is the greatest show around. Can't ditch KK because the pedos might get aired out. Change attitudes, get popcorn. Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, I like the joke that she has dirt on somebody. I don't understand why she's still around, but yeah, she's still around.
Don't ever underestimate the power of the woman card, man.
All right, Termin says American pesos.
Yeah.
Drew's drawing is so ginormous. Oh, sorry. Drew's dong is so ginormous. He can't even use the Goodyear blimp as a condom. Which I'd be worth
it. That's a good year.
Indeed.
Very good.
Yeah. Wow.
And George Molo. Sorry, because it's the H is silent, right? It's Molo. George Molo. There we go. Now I got it right. For $4.99. $49.99. God, I can't speak today.
Thank you, George.
Thank you, George. One, Hollywood isn't interested in profit, only power. I would agree with that. Planting their studio flag not as corporate lackeys, but as medieval warlords subjugating a new class of serfs.
1,000%.
You're not wrong. It is much more analogous to the aristocracy than it ever will be capitalists.
Which is interesting that you use the term serf, because that kind of pops up a lot when I talk about the Great Reset and whatnot. So
and Agenda
the new
2030
class of serfs
and all that
is definitely, I think, in our future, unfortunately.
Well, no, right now we are in the position to reverse that. But yes, more George.
More George for $49.99 too. They virtue signal to feed the beast, their culture machine for political dominance and control. Challenge the narrative, change the channel, stop compromising. I agree. Live your best life. Hail to all. God, I can't talk. Hail all to the panel. There we go. I can read. I promise.
Thank you. And here we go.
What's that? Oh. Thank you, George. Thank you very much.
George is the best. George is the best.
Yeah.
Toxic Ban Fluid Dix Vision for 20 American pesos. Drew's penis is so big that when he went swimming in the ocean, Al Gore made a movie about the rising ocean water levels called An Inconvenient.
Wow.
Oh, no.
Oh, my God.
Or how I used
for discovering displacement.
Or how I used Drew's left ball as a flotation device. Oh my god.
I would have been like, yeah, that's one hell of a buoy.
Oh, good lord.
Wow, that was not all right.
Anyway,
So Drew's balls would be a Bowie.
That is one of the most random.
By the way,
For the love of my sanity, please stop.
Jaws,
Like an urban legend I wasn't aware of. True.
by the way, George, I'm doing fine, man. I hope all is well with you. I can't read or talk tonight. That's all. That's something new.
Look, I want to throw some numbers out there because we're talking about like Lucas
talking about
versus
Dykes?
Spielberg. No.
Like,
You guys are jerk.
where does this happen?
I know. No.
All right,
but
Supreme
Jaws-
Heretic for $2. I love you all, amazing men and women.
Well,
Beware the Drew.
we love you too, Drew.
Who's the woman? Is there something I'm missing here?
No, there's women in our audience here.
Yeah, like the Islam. But wait. I just want to get some numbers down real quick. Jaws benefited from an international box office that had just expanded and made $470,000. $210,000 of that was from million. I'm sorry, not thousand. 210 million of that was from an international box office that previously didn't exist. American Graffiti, which was released 2 years prior to that by George Lucas, earned $115 million, and the only international release that it has was in Australia because we hadn't expanded internationally at that point. So he made $140 million in worldwide box office. So the difference of just 2 years, and by adding additional markets, became the difference in the way those films earned. So they were both on par with each other when you remove the markets that the film wasn't released in.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
I don't disagree with that. Yeah. I just think that, again, when we talk about summer blockbusters, the first one that most people will bring up is Jaws. I'm not disagreeing, though. It was definitely because of the expansion and it became more available to more of the world. And why not?
It also matters the reaction to it, which is the defining variable here.
But ultimately, because of that, Jaws benefited more and became more notable. It's like saying, I don't know, you got companies that make great products, but if you don't have the money to tell people about it, it doesn't do as well as somebody who has an okay product that has the money to say, hey, look at this.
Or here's a great example. Every reasonably nerdy person on earth has heard of The Witcher. Almost no one has heard of Elric of Melniboné, but The Witcher was almost directly ripped off of Elric of Melniboné. Perfect example.
And that's the other thing. You see it all the time. Let's just talk about it. Like for me, I do music reviews. When I do a music review and I get a copyright claim, I'm sitting there going like, well, this is fair use. But I have to go through such a mountain of stuff to even try to push that. But
leave it alone. Yeah.
Well,
let's do this. American Graffiti had a shorter run in the box office than Jaws did. Jaws benefited from a 33-week run. So it's there's a lot of things that come into that. But if we want to get into blockbusters, especially if we start to talk of outside of the normal genre, 2001: A Space Odyssey, which was released in '68, only made $71 million worldwide, and yet that is considered the epic creation of an amazing director, right?
But you know what? Also, that I noticed that doesn't get its credit is when Star Wars, when we only had those 3 movies, and Star Wars was just stagnant, right? Timothy Zahn came out with the Heir to the Empire books, relaunched the Star Wars universe back to the mainstream.
There was a lot of things that kind of kept Star Wars on life support. You had the Western Games role-playing game, which honestly kept it going up to the point where Zahn came out, and then you had Dark Horse doing a lot of the comics, which were fantastic. And then obviously back in '99 we got the first Star Wars movie, and I guess over 2 decades at the point.
Yeah, and you also had Knights of the Old Republic too. So.
Yeah, you had Knights of the Old Republic. I mean, they were that were keeping alive. You did have the Star Wars games, which obviously helped out.
Well,
KOTOR, and then Galaxies was a big one.
But he was also working on other stuff, right? I mean, Lucasfilm was a bigger enterprise than that, right? And we wouldn't have Indiana Jones without Lucas, right? So there was so many other projects that happened that were parallel, right? And so I don't blame George for that. I mean, we got Willow. You know, we got
Willow was great. Yeah,
we got a bunch of other great stuff, awesome, right? And you know, there were a lot of books, including one that was commissioned that was never published, that got magically published somehow, that I'm holding in my hand right now.
All right,
which is The Heart of the Jedi. You know, and this particular paperback, it was only available for a brief time on Amazon. You know, at no profit. They released it for cost. They made no dollars on these.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So, and why would you do that? Why would you release something by Kenneth Flint, right? That wasn't going to make anything. This is a lost
because you actually care about the IP you're working with.
Yeah, and so somebody did that. Right? This book got pulled down really fast after it's outsold every single one of the Project Luminous baloney sausage craptasticness that was.
It's almost like if you actually give a damn, people will respond by giving a damn in kind or something.
Because nobody wants the flatulent republic or whatever the new book crap is. They don't want any of these projects coming out of Del Rey or any of these other entities, right? I think it's Del Rey, IDW. Who are their other partners on this total trash fire that they subjected us all to?
So George is asking, where can you get the book?
You can't, George. You know what? You can DM me or any place you want me to send this, PO box, whatever. You can have this copy. I have a few more. Okay.
Oh, sure, awesome.
Also, just to kind of even things out here a little bit, as crap as Marvel Comics currently is, and as crap as DC's handling of Star Wars currently is, some of the Marvel licensed Star Wars comics coming out are decent to good.
All right. Well, I know we don't have a lot more time, so I'm going to shut up and let the comics
get
through this.
Yeah, real quick.
Have you been
comics? I'm going to jump off.
Okay.
I gotta run and get to work tomorrow.
Take care, Chris.
Say hello to everyone, Chris.
Start the shilling.
Hello, everyone. Right here. That's where you can find me. Right here on Twitter. Check out Chaos Central. Check out all these people here. And yes. Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
No, you're welcome. You're welcome here anytime.
Chris, love you, buddy. Have a good one.
And even though
take it easy, guys.
Have a good night, Chris.
Even though Chris and I disagreed tonight, I think he's awesome and I love him. So there you go.
Well, thank you, Culture. I don't call it disagreement. I just call it
healthy debate.
Yes, there you go. That's a good way. That's the whole reason. That's what I love coming on shows and stuff. Is that you can healthily debate things, and it's all right. You know what?
We need that. We need healthy. I don't agree with you. And guess what?
Yeah,
it exists everywhere else in the world, but where we get to see it.
Next time, I'll just go like, "You're wrong. You're a horrible person. You're horrible. Oh my god."
You need to call me a
stop, you're horrible.
Yahtzee, bigot, something else. There's got to be some of those in there.
I will not use that. I will not use that N word because I've already had a conversation with Renfamous about this, about how people use that word so easily these days and would be forget what they were.
Why are you engaging with Renfamous?
Oh, this is a couple years ago, and every once in a while I still say, "Hey, if you want to come on my show and talk about this," and then she sends me a picture of a cat asshole. It's kind of interesting. One of these days backstage, I will show you our lovely conversations we have. It's interesting. Most of mine are actual words being nice and hey, you know,
Renfamous being Renfamous is a
she'll send me
waste, a vacuum that sucks away.
One of the pictures is her cat, and it shows her the cat's asshole. She's holding the tail up, and the cat has its teeth showing. Look back and it says, "Ooh, I'm not sure if it likes that from you."
That poor cat.
That's so dumb.
That crosses the line.
She's a waste of a human being. I mean,
she is. Anyways, guys, take it easy. Be safe, guys.
All right. Have you heard about this whole Overwatch thing?
Oh gosh, yeah.
We've talked about the Blizzard lawsuit. You know, while back.
Joys.
And so apparently the character of McCree was named after one of the developers named McCree, and apparently this is the individual named in the lawsuit. So what they're going to do is they're going to rename the character of McCree to something else, and they're making it part of their plot. And the funny thing about it is, like, it's like, great job. You fixed absolutely nothing by renaming this character.
No.
You've only
Blizzard,
exacerbated the problem because now everyone who likes that character is going to go, why is this character different now?
Well, anybody that has played Overwatch, you know, and I played it for a while, it's just, you know, anybody that played like old school Overwatch, they know you're not fooling anybody. And you know, gamers are laughing at this point at basically you're watching the fall of Blizzard, and you know,
in real time
with what they've done, you know, with not only Overwatch but you know, just the shit way like they mailed in.
You might even call it a snow job.
Well,
but
but just the shit way that they've you know, mailed it in for World of Warcraft and other stuff lately.
Yeah.
You know, people are done with them. People are done with them, and it didn't just take the scandal to do it.
No, people were pissed about the whole Diablo thing a while back.
Yeah, people have been done with this company for a while, and this is just at this point everybody sitting back that was done with them, and they were just plotting like
watching it burn down, eating popcorn, and then dancing on the ashes. And it's because of the same reason why people are petty and vindictive about every major studio now. It's because when you tell your fans that you're that they're subhuman and immoral because reasons, and that we don't want you, we want a better quality of fan, or you're toxic, or this or that or the other. Surprisingly, the response comes back invariably, up yours then. Because that's how people react when you call them subhuman and immoral.
This is part of their announcement here. We built Overwatch universe around the idea that inclusivity, equity, I'm not sure what any of these have to do with their fucking game.
No, you didn't.
And hope are all building blocks of a better future for a
No, you
game.
didn't.
Yeah.
This ideology didn't exist 20 years ago. No, you didn't.
They are central to the game and to the Overwatch team. As we continue to discuss how to best live up to our values and to demonstrate our commitment to creating a game world that reflects them, we believe it's necessary to change the name of the hero currently known as McCree to something that better represents what Overwatch stands for.
So in other words,
it's a freaking name.
Because of my abstract moral reasons, your games and your IP is getting yanked yet again. Don't you love us now? No, we don't.
Well, at least they're
Please
changing the name and they're not gender swapping him or race swapping him.
Well, the whole
don't
point.
Give them ideas.
Yeah, right.
Well, the thing that's funny about it is the fact that so they named the character after a developer, and this developer is named in the lawsuit. And honestly, this obviously, with them going and changing the character's name, fixes absolutely nothing.
Because accusations are totally synonymous with confirmations, don't you know?
And they're not. And that's the other problem, because Blizzard on another front is fighting this war in a different way, saying that California is overreaching and damaging businesses by these kinds of practices. And they're not wrong, considering that a lot of these things are based purely on conjecture that are brought forward in this lawsuit. But I'm not going to get into that aspect of it all.
But culture, the greater good, though. Culture,
yeah,
greater
fuck that
good.
in the ear hole. No, the thing is that nobody outside of a handful of people would have known that this character was named after the developer that was named in the
Unless
lawsuit.
somebody brought it up.
Thank you very much. And so you realize there's hundreds of thousands of human beings that are playing this game that would be oblivious to this. So F you guys very much. And thanks
but
for
our morality, though, suggests that we need to fillet ourselves like medieval flagellates trying to get rid of the plague.
Well, I had no fucking clue until now.
Yep.
So
we realize any change to such a well-loved and central hero in the game's fiction will take time to roll out correctly, and we'll share updates as this work progresses. In the near term, we had planned to kick off a narrative arc in September, supported with new story and game content, of which McCree was a key part. Since we want to integrate this change into the story arc, we will be delaying the new arc until later this year, and instead of launching a new FFA map this September, going forward, in-game characters will no longer be named after real employees and will be more thoughtful and
translation, we are altering the IP. Pray we do not alter it any further, and your IP will be assimilated.
If they won't put any more real world references in there, then we're free of all the woke bullshit. Yes.
But culture. No, that doesn't apply, because that's morality, and that's the greater good, and that's abstract reasoning, and therefore art is only valuable as a means to an end, don't you know, culture?
I'm taking them for their word. No more real world references, so no more woke bullshit.
Except moral bullshit, culture.
No.
You know that asterisk is always there.
In there, I read it. You read it too. This is a statement. They said it in a statement. I'm going to fucking hold them to it.
Yeah, well, it's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
Hang on. We're not done with this.
You're wrong, because, of course, as usual, your real-world politics, our abstract morality. That's how these things work.
Yeah.
Consistency of principle is nothing because reason.
Yeah. You know what? Morality is not a Jackson Pollock, assholes. Anyway, go ahead.
This will help reinforce that we're building a fictional universe. It's already fictional. I mean, this is so ridiculous.
Stupid. Welcome to the first day of first grade, Blizzard developers. Will there be anything else?
That is unmistakably different from the real world and better illustrates.
You don't say.
The creation of Overwatch is truly a team effort. It's like, oh god, seriously, this is the stupidest thing I've heard all day. Which,
I can get stupider.
Well, yeah, I mean,
we don't need to.
This is their reasoning, man.
Yeah, we can talk this one, comics, but you want to save that for Monday.
It's something, okay, the character has a cybernetic arm. Cybernetics are not a real thing yet. Maybe in the future. We know this is a work of fiction. We know that this is not a real world. That's the thing that's so stupid about it. So what? You named a character after one of your employees, and then this employee is named in a lawsuit.
Does that make the character guilty of all of the developers' hypothetical sins? Then is that what we're doing?
I was gonna say, how about this? How about you fix your fucking workplace culture rather than going and renaming a character? Because this is doing something without actually fucking doing something.
But comics, morality and consistency of principle. What's that?
There isn't one, because as a person in charge of your workplace, the priorities your workplace. Forget about fictional characters, where, like Culture just said, the majority of us didn't even know that they were being named after the actual developers.
Yeah,
it's fucking ridiculous.
It is.
Yeah, this is absolutely like the pinnacle of stupid. But you know,
like
I mean,
this is doing something without doing anything, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, we fixed the problem.
Yeah,
but like all aristocrats, they will never understand peasant arguments because they don't share the peasant's worldview. When a peasant walks up to Marie Antoinette and says, "My lady, I have no bread," and she responds with let them eat cake, to her that is an entirely rational and reasonable argument because she doesn't actually understand what the peasant is expressing. And much in the same way as this, they will never understand our complaints because they don't operate in the same worldview as we do. the worldview that they operate within is the problem.
Yeah, their bubble.
Yeah, pretty much. Work on these updates is underway, and they are just part of our ongoing commitment to honest reflection and making whatever changes are necessary to build a future worth fighting for. Okay, it's a fucking video game. Anyway, we know that the action speaks louder than words, and we hope to show our community to make Overwatch a better experience in game and continue to make our game the best it can be.
You have done nothing. Wow. You have changed nothing, and you are effectively nothing. Please fuck off.
Other than the esports people, I don't think there's that many people like playing Overwatch anymore.
Oh no, Overwatch has gone downhill, man.
Yeah. So I
mean,
almost
like when these sorts of people are in charge of an IP, it goes to shit or something.
Well, that's about as good as like recently, in Rainbow Six Siege. Like they made a big deal because they're like, "Ooh, look at our shiny new character! Oh, by the way, our new operator is trans, and she has a game-breaking ability. So pick rate, use her."
A game-breaking ability?
Yeah, she
I wonder what it is.
She has like her gadget in the game like gives you a really big tactical advantage if you use the character, and it's almost like they knew exactly what they were doing. Because it's a
pants or her
because
pants
Siege is a huge esports game, and they know that the pick rate's going to go up, especially if you put in a meta changing character like that, and it's all virtue signal for show, and that's a lot of what this statement is from Blizzard. Yeah. These companies are falling all over themselves just a virtue signal.
Because the greater good and morality and our worldview, derp.
Yep.
Look what the hell we had to go through when it was Virtue Signal Month. It was non-stop every day.
Oh,
wait, there was a Virtue Signal Month?
Yeah, it's called.
Did they actually add that to the calendar? Like I hope you're joking, but I can never tell anymore.
It's called Pride Month. Dalton.
Okay. We're just making fun of Pride.
Shame on you for not participating in Pride Month and being part of the community. Anyway, Terminus says for $10. Whose dong is so big? Now, when he goes swimming, the ocean. Do we already? Oh yeah.
No, he didn't.
He didn't do this one.
All three sperm whales worship and swim circles around his balls and shaft, like Muslims circling around the Kaaba in Mecca.
Oh my God, Terminus! That one's kind of awesome.
Oh, jeez, man.
Wow.
That was terrible, Terminus. Absolutely terrible.
Come on, man.
I just want to make sure I got all the super chats. I did. So let's make our outros here. I know that Culture has to go. Culture, are you still with us? Yes, you are.
He had to do something. He'll be right back.
He's here.
No. I'm good. Okay.
I
just want to say thank you, everybody, for being here this evening. I appreciate all of your support. And for those of you who understand memes, beyond that, I just want to say thank you, because we wouldn't be here without you. You guys are an amazing audience. It was a great privilege to hang out with you this evening, to entertain you, I hope, and to make you laugh occasionally, and to make you want to throw your remote at the television. Our buddy Comics Division does a great job twice a week letting us come here and go crazy. Occasionally on Sunday, we might go crazy again on this channel. And,
I promised Lorena that we would stream on Sunday, so we're definitely streaming Sunday at 9.
Nice. Okay, very exciting, because I love that I get to go from that. That means I get to go from Lorena's to here. Hokey schmoke. Very excited. So I am going to try to start a Saturday show. I'm going to try to drag people like Comics and Tom and a few others in there, and some random guests, from the panel that you see here and some other places from time to time, because I think that's an underserved night, to Does that sound right? An underserved night. But beyond that,
starting a new show, are we, Culture? Ahem.
I know. Look, okay, so here's my goal. I need to get to 10 live shows on my channel, and I need to get to 30 other people's shows. So right now, I'm at 8 or 9 live shows on my channel, and I'm at 25 shows on other people's channels. I don't sleep anymore. It's okay. It's okay. And I had a great time, but it's not about me. It's about you. And that's the whole purpose. Thank you all for being here. If you subscribe to me, that's fantastic. I'm here. I'm on Odyssey. I'm on Twitter, and I'm on Minds. I'm on Minds. I'm on Minds. I'm on Minds, and I'm on Twitch. I started the Twitch thing that you can. I Twitch now. You should check me out on Twitch. Follow me on Twitch. There's this thing called an affiliate. It sounds like it's a big deal, but I don't know.
I've been there, done that like 4 years ago. Catch up, bro.
Do better.
Now I feel bad, but I just want to say thank you, comics, again. It was a great pleasure to hang out with you, and I can't wait for the next time we all get together in one space. But until then,
it's gonna be fantastic.
This will have to do. And for those of you who are out there, thank you for keeping us sane. Thank you for making everything happen, because it's you guys.
Absolutely. Next up is longtime listener, first time caller, Guy Scar.
Hey guys, comics. I have to say thanks for having me. We met at a round table. I think it was for
Mandalorian.
Yeah, the Mandalorian, correct, for Star Wars. And listen, I started watching you ever since then. I'm pretty new to YouTube. I'm at 266 now. A little bit close to a year now that I've been doing this. I game a lot. I do random shows. Been doing stuff with Chaos Central as well, with Chris Knight, Danny. And like I said, I love hearing different conversations on different levels, politics and everything. So definitely being here today has taught me things. And I know I was quiet because I was listening. Sometimes, my mom used to say, sometimes it's best to be quiet and listen to what other people have to say and process it. And, that's how you get to know people. And thank you for having me, man. I can't
absolutely.
Say chat. Thank you. You can find me at the Basco Scenario. My Twitch handle's on there as well. And, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
It's good seeing you again, brother.
Yeah, man. You're welcome anytime. Just ping me if you want on.
Absolutely.
I haven't talked to you in a minute, Gaskar, so it's good to see you, man.
Next up is our little toad friend, Jed.
Hello, everybody, and thank you, everybody, coming over here today. Thank you, Culture, which I had an awesome time with the other night. If you want to go see it, go on Twitter. It was pictures of me, Ryan, Biggles, and Culture together, all play, and we did a stream too. So, you can go on our channel and find that out. So I want to thank you, comics, for letting me on here every single week, brother. I appreciate it. Much love to you and everybody on the chat and everything. So we're trying to start a new thing. One of our new things is we started retro games and stuff on our channel on Wednesday. It's with me and Ironcaster. And if you guys ever want to come hang out with us on Wednesday, hit us up. And we are going to be trying to do some other new things too. So Cindy's going to be the main show, the long show. So, but yeah, thank you guys. And I think, and I'm not sure, don't quote me on this one. I think the Cotton Connection is coming back this Saturday, but don't quote me on that. But, I always put everything I do on Twitter and Facebook and Minds as much as I can. So thank you, everybody.
All right, next up is the long man himself, not be confused with Mahler, but
yeah,
he's the long man in his own right.
Oh no!
Well, they say if I played baseball, I would be the long reliever, but hey. No, I honestly want to say thank you so much to everyone again in the chat. You guys are amazing. I appreciate the prayers. I appreciate the support. I know even more so than me, my mom appreciates it. you know, I know, guys, I try not to let it show, but man, I've been a stressed and depressed kind of in that kind of mode, and being around you folks, not only on the panel, but those of you in the chat, those of you that are so supportive, it really does help. And you know, it's I'm grateful beyond words anytime that we get a chance to spend time together. And, you know, of course, you can catch me on Thursdays here with my friends in the Dix Division, and also Pegasus Actual Podcast on Thursday. Check that out. On Tuesdays, don't forget the Rogue Squadron, the great folks at Rogue Entertainment. And also, I'm from every so often on the weekends, I do a High Heresy stream, and you know, we're slowly but surely making moves on the channel. But I just thank you for your support. You know, again, you guys are all amazing men and women, and I am grateful from the bottom of my heart for that. So thank you very much.
You're welcome, man. I hope your mom is doing better. I hope she's home soon.
I hope so too, man.
Yeah.
All right. Last but not least, we have the Authenticator, and then we have some super chats to cheer Drew up. All right.
Hi guys. My name is Dalton Mortimer. I am the Authenticator. My channel is the Authenticator here on YouTube. As I always say when I'm shilling myself, I'm weird. I've been a practicing occultist for 15 years. I was a philosophy major at one point, and generally have been obsessed with philosophy for my entire life. Any weird topic you can think of, I probably have a video or something talking about it. I have solved the content problem, the erstwhile content problem finally, because I've discovered that while I might not have the energy to make videos on a regular basis, because fuck you, insomnia, I can completely embarrass myself by butchering classic songs, which I have started uploading every 2 days, so that the channel actually has filler and content. So if that's something you're interested in, if you want to see me completely butcher Billy Joel's Piano Man, or Nick Lowe's Cruel to Be Kind, or I believe the one I did today was Build Me Up Buttercup by the Foundations, got you covered there. Also, like I say, I do videos about magic and occultism. I do videos about geek stuff and pop culture, usually the combination of the two. I do videos about politics and philosophy sometimes, and I do a lot of guest appearances on other people's channels, even if there isn't much on my own channel. Though please do subscribe and actually watch the content. Like, I only have one subscriber who actually watches my content, Nelson the Gentleman, shout out to him. He is best subscriber. Please go and compete with him if you like. But in terms of the guest appearances I often do, there's an entire guest appearances and crossover playlist on my channel for the miscellaneous stuff. Also do a weekly podcast with the Brainstormer of Pop Culture where we talk about politics and geek shit, because that's never going away apparently. Also recently started a podcast with my friend Mr. E2099 called The Duality of Man, where we discuss men's issues and men's rights. And all of these can be found in playlists on my channel. And like I said, if none of that is weird enough for you, I also butcher classic songs now, because content. You can find me on Twitter at The Authenticator, spelled without a U, because Twitter is stupid and won't give me enough characters. And you can find me everywhere else, pretty much, at The Authenticator, spelled normally. I have 151 subscribers right now. It was at 157 at one point. I'm not sure if YouTube is being naughty and unsubscribing people. Please.
They're being naughty because I lost like 16 to 20 the other day. So.
Yeah. Please subscribe and watch the content, but also double check and make sure you're subscribed. If you've already subscribed, I would appreciate it significantly. Other than that, I guess I will see you over if you decide to stop over in my neck of the woods. Cheers, guys.
And also, you gotta do what you gotta do when it comes to making content. Oh, I realized we didn't talk about how shitty of a human being Dan Slott is.
Dan Slott he's a scumbag.
Yeah.
That's always a good topic.
In comics, he blocked me the other day too. So.
Look, I'm blocked by that guy and never interacted with him.
I got block-botted by him years ago because I follow the wrong people.
I'm like, Dan Slott, he's still a thing. No, it's like film at 11.
Yeah. Oh, by the way,
I think he blocked me because I'm associated with Bounty.
Probably. If you haven't seen Just Some Guy's video talking about Dan Slott, go watch it. It's a great video.
Oh,
it's
dude,
fantastic.
Just Some Guy. Fuck.
Yeah. All right. Turbo sets for 5 American pesos. You know why there's craters on the moon? Drew's dong. He pokes craters on the surface when he's out camping and sleeping under the moon. Moonlight.
He's like lassoing the moon and just hitting it with his dong. He's like,
okay. Cox Evangelo has a good one here for $5. Drew's dong is so big that Lost Amazon tribe worships the great sky sausage father.
So wait, are we assuming that Drew's dick is close to throttle now?
The great sky sausage. We worship you.
All I have to say is indeed. Anyway, still working on my Cherry 2000 review. I also need to get my episode 3 for What If done. Newsflash. It wasn't crap. It wasn't as garbage as the first 2. It was actually passable entertainment. So, yeah, wasn't perfect. Has some issues, but yeah, I think they made Coulson gay in it. I don't know, but other than that, it was kind of interesting.
He's always had a man crush on Cap, though. Let's be fair, and also let's be fair.
Okay,
Cap is Cap, so can we really?
He's had his cards collected.
He's America's ass, so that makes a lot of sense. He's going to get mounted on Cap. Is that what you're saying?
Koalas in the morning.
Steve obviously was the bottom when he was still Steve, so who knows?